push him right into the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. The Blitz came to Dallas last year, a 5th-round pick, and even though he led the Cowboys with 5 interceptions as a rookie, he did not begin this season in the starting lineup. But when All-Pro ballhawk Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL 2 weeks in, Bland stepped right up. The Seahawk who will be most aware of Bland tonight, that's Geno Smith. He's now 11 days removed from a hit that caused a bad bruise to his throwing elbow. He told us he was airing the ball out in practice this week and doesn't expect him to limit him tonight. He is wearing a padded sleeve, just as he did in last Thursday's game.
Thank you, Kelly. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the standings. Niners on top, 8-3. Hawks are now 6-5, and the Rams are breathing down their necks, and the Rams have beaten the Seahawks twice already this season. In the East, you've got Philly at 10-1, Cowboys 8-3. Those two meet a week from Sunday night here. Take a look at this. The grass isn't always greener for the Cowboys over the last 2 seasons, counting the playoffs. They're 2-8 on God's green grass. On turf, artificial turf, anything, any surface that a horse can't graze on. They're 19-1. There's Prescott with a rating of 85 on grass and close to 109 on turf. This, of course, an artificial surface. So it's so funny because most of the players in the league say we all want to play on natural grass, and the Cowboys are going, oh, hold on a second.
Wait now.
Won't. Downtown Dallas. About a 30-40-minute drive. Of course, it's doing so much construction these days. Takes a little bit longer. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, world-renowned.
Kaylee Hartson back in Arlington with Pete Carroll. Coach, you called this game an enormous opportunity for your team. How do you feel they're responding to that sense of urgency?
I wish we made the kick right now. You know, we had a couple calls out here that disturbed me a little bit, but we missed the kick. We need to keep it tied up.
What improvements do you want to see in your defense in the second quarter?
Well, the big penalty was a big deal. Changed the whole field position. We got to stay on top on that touchdown pass, too.
Thanks, Coach.
Second quarter. Meanwhile, you're talking about the upcoming schedule for these teams. Cowboys, of course, are 8-3. Philadelphia here a week from Sunday. Then they go to Buffalo, to Miami, and Detroit comes here. Tough.
Think about these games. It's almost, if you're Dallas and you want to show you can play with the big boys, you want this. Philly at 10-1. You got Miami at 8-3. You got the Lions at 8-3. It's all about winning games and trying to secure that home field advantage for all these teams, but it's right in front of Dallas.
Time now for the Thursday Spotlight, presented by Mercedes-Benz. The Cowboys this season undefeated at home, and they won every game by 20 or more points. Had not trailed until tonight in any game when they were briefly down 7-3. Prescott on fire. 4 TD passes each of his last 3 home games, and tonight he's got 2. And there he is, having his best season in his 8th year. And the Hawks now 10 points in arrears. 25. Kurt.
Well, Seattle came in tonight knowing they had to have a plan for Micah Parsons. What a move there against the run. Everybody thinks about him as a pass rusher off the edge, and he is. He's the most dominant we've seen in a long time with quickness and moves like this. Not always about him getting the sacks, it's about him affecting, and this quarterback knowing where he is at all times. On our Zooms this week talking to Seattle, whether it was a coach or with Geno himself, first thing they find out, especially in passing downs, is where is 11 and make sure they account for him.
The new season of Coach Prime premieres December the 7th, only on Prime Video. There's Deion Sanders in attendance tonight. Off his right shoulder is his son, Shadur, quarterback at the University of Colorado. So Coach Prime Video, December the 7th.
They got off to a great start, obviously. Yeah. They became one of the stories in sports in September and then faded. Yeah.
State Farm halftime show coming up. There is Tony Gonzalez, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Carissa Thompson. Here comes Witt. Here comes Sherm. Legion of boom. There he is. Plenty to talk about. Good first half. State Farm halftime show coming up shortly. Meanwhile, There is Brooks, and they're going to take him back. Check him out in the locker room.
Second timeout.
30-second timeout. Interesting game on so many levels here. You know, we talked to both teams obviously beforehand. The other thing I'm thinking about, you know, trap game is an overused phrase, but when you look at Dallas's schedule, the way they're playing and the way Seattle's playing, you know, this could be a semi-trap game.
Yeah, I think so. But I do think Dallas is executing pretty well. I think they've just run into a different Seattle team. I think Pete Carroll got his team. Let's face it, Thanksgiving, national TV, they got embarrassed by the 49ers. Niners played great. And I think he's got an angry team that's trying to make amends for not just last week, the last 3 of the last 4 weeks. But I'll tell you what, good plan against this explosive Dallas offense. Playing a lot of zone, trying to keep everything in front of them, make Dak Prescott be patient with the pass game, and then see if you can hold him out in the red zone and force field goals.
A week from tonight, Thursday Night Football, we go back to Pittsburgh. We were there a few weeks ago. Bill Belichick and the Patriots against T.J. Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kickoff will be at 8:15 Eastern Time in the Steel City. Patriots Steelers on Thursday night. And the way this game is going, who knows? Anyway, stopped at the 35-yard line. That's the end of a wild and crazy first half. 21-20. Seahawks on top. State Farm halftime show with the gang coming up right after the break.
Prime Stories Now is presented by Verizon.
When you play the Dallas Cowboys, we do get their best shot.
Smith fires over the middle. Great grab by Metcalf, and he will go all the way for a touchdown.
We put ourselves in a great position to take more shots, to be aggressive.
Fires, caught, touchdown, C.D. Lamb. Dak right on the money. Fires, caught, touchdown. Brandon Cooks to Metcalf. He pulls it in. Wild and crazy first half. Indeed it was. AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung with you. Start the third quarter, 21-20. Seattle on top. 6 straight games with 2 or more touchdown passes in the first half for Prescott. 3 receptions, 108 yards, and a couple of TDs in the first quarter. 107 receiving yards for DK Metcalf. And of course the go-ahead score. And there is the quarterback comparison for you. And time sack, very interesting. Dallas with a great offensive line. Dak's gone down 3 times, and Smith has not gone down at all.
Amazing. No, I don't think anybody other than being a diehard Seattle fan would have thought this offensive line would have been able to hold up the way they have and giving Geno just enough time, especially in these obvious passing situations.
Pete enjoying a light moment with the officials on the sideline. Off we go in the second half. In the first game of week 13 with a touchback moments ago. Kaylee with Mike McCarthy.
Well, Coach, you scored on every possession. You've dominated time of possession, but you guys are trailing. What are your priorities in the second half?
Well, I think just like anything, you got to focus on yourself. We got to clean up the penalties. We've got to score touchdowns in the red zone.
Seattle has gone right after Deron Bland. What adjustments do you want to see him make?
Oh, no, there's a lot of football left to be played. We're excited to go play it. Thank you.
This season, Prime Video brings you classic family favorites and new festive flicks like Merry Little Batman. One app, one password. Find your holiday happy place Prime Video as you look at downtown Dallas, Texas. Salute to TNF, one of the buildings there. The Cowboys now down by 8. I mentioned before, had not trailed at all at home in any game this season until tonight, and now they come to the 25-yard line.
Well, let's take a look at our next-gen stats powered by AWS. And we knew coming into this game, Geno Smith was going to get pressured. You see 54% of his dropbacks, highest rate since 2016. But look at this. 9 of his 12 pressures had come under 2.5 seconds. But here's the thing, Dallas didn't have a sack tonight. They're getting after him. Seattle came in with a plan to get the ball out. They knew that this was going to be an issue with their offensive line. But up to this point, listen, they got 28 points on the board. They're doing a pretty good job.
Time for tonight's journey. It's presented by Hyundai. So for Prescott, a couple of touchdowns, but he's also been sacked a total of 4 times. Geno Smith ran for that touchdown. 202 passing yards. Just threw that pick. DK Metcalf, big night, 5 catches for 131, and twice to the end zone. Meanwhile, Bland just came up with his 8th interception of the season. 5 have resulted in pick sixes, and he has 13 in his 2 years in the league. Here we go.
Welcome back to Arlington. There is a championship on the line tomorrow night for a Cowboy legend. That's 11-time Pro Bowler Jason Witten, and he has taken Liberty Christian High School to the Texas State title game. The Warriors, they won just 2 games in Witten's first season as head coach in 2021, and now they are 13-0. He's got big aspirations for his coaching career, but especially with both of his sons on the team, he told me he is loving every minute of this.
Jerry Jones looks on. Dallas coming in trying to stay stride for stride with Philadelphia. They get him here a week from Sunday night, but now in jeopardy of maybe falling farther behind. For Seattle, in jeopardy with San Francisco and Philadelphia the next 2 weeks. 2-game losing streak. They were on the verge of falling to 500. They don't win tonight, and here they are playing their best game of the season.
Yeah, they put it all together, you know, and I think they sensed what was ahead of them. They sensed a big challenge tonight against Dallas, and they knew that they had to come out and play differently. In this NFC wildcard picture, everybody looking at what Philly and San Fran have been able to do. Detroit's been a great story this year. The NFC South, you know, flip a coin by the time that's done. And then there you have the wild card race just wide open. Dallas, of course, in position there at 8-3. There's Seattle, the Vikings, and even others down there still within a game.
This week, NFL players are wearing customized cleats in honor of the causes they support through My Cause, My Cleats. Visit NFL.com/MyCauseMyCleats to hear players' stories, bid on their custom cleats for charity, learn how they're making a difference in their communities. The guys, this has been going on for a few years. They love it, and even Pete is into it as well. It was a great idea, and it started a few years ago, and the players have totally bought into it.
I love the reaction from the players when they see it for the first time.
Yeah.
They have an idea, but then to see it, they get fired up.
Open up that box. Take a look at what the makers have done. 35-30.
Let's take a peek at the 4K Sky Cam. It's presented by J.C. Penney, and we're going to focus on Micah Parsons, who's been a factor. Not necessarily if you look at his stats, but sometimes it's not about that with him. It's the amount of tension that he draws and opens up other opportunities, and how he forces tonight Geno Smith to get that ball out of his hands maybe before he's ready to do that. So 11, not only a big night so far, but if they're going to come back and win this game, Parsons going to have to make it. See the
Eddie Murphy and Tracy Ellis Ross in a new holiday comedy movie whole family will love. It's called Candy Cane Lane. You can watch now on Prime Video exclusively as you look at the Star. That's where the Cowboys train in Frisco. It's great. I mean, it can't be a better training facility that I know, or you know, or anybody knows.
Yeah, I think they get great use out of it too.
Tremendous.
It should be a 30-second timeout.
As they stand right now. So in the West, San Fran 8-3. Seattle would drop to 6-6 if they don't come from behind. Rams are 5-6. Rams have Cleveland this week and have already beaten Seattle twice, so they would own that tie break for the moment. Meanwhile, Philly is 10-1, and Dallas would go to 9-3 to stay a game and a half back.
How about the Eagles and the Niners? Eagles 10-1, Niners 8-3. If the Niners are somehow able to win that game, you're looking at 10-2 Philly and 9-3 Dallas. If the Cowboys win out tonight, what a matchup that would be the next week with Philadelphia and Dallas here in Arlington.
41-35 back and forth tonight. A lot of terrific performances in this one. Cowboys 14 straight home wins. They own the place, which they didn't for the first 8 or 9 years in this stadium. They were about 500, but since around 2017, very, very tough at home. Big night from Metcalf, big and Geno Smith. You got to feel for him, a very resilient guy, 11th year in the league. He's seen it all. The peaks, the valleys, 334 yards. Meanwhile, Prescott is a yard shy of 300, 299 and 3 touchdowns tonight. Heck of a game.
No doubt about it. If you and I would have pulled in today and said, hey, it's going to be 41-35, we would have said, what in the world? There's no way. I mean, the way Seattle's looked his last 3 of the last 4 games, That's what makes these games so much fun. You never know.
We did say that in the car. Anyway.
Awesome game.
Lots of hugs, lots of congratulations going back and forth. Meanwhile, you got Ferguson with the touchdown. Tight end with 6 catches tonight. Seahawks with 4th down failures tonight. Right here on a pass intended for Smith and Jigba.